Did the Cowboys coaching search just change direction when nobody was expecting it? What looked like a slow, predictable process has suddenly taken a huge turn, and at the same time, new free agent targets are being revealed behind the scenes. Some believe this signals a bold, aggressive offseason plan, while others worry Dallas is scrambling after missing out on key options. Why did this shift happen now, and how do these free agent names fit into the bigger picture? One connection between the coaching move and these targets is being overlooked, and it could define the Cowboys' entire offseason. The Dallas Cowboys coaching search just took a huge turn, and I mean the kind of turn that nobody inside the building was expecting just a few weeks ago. Because while fans were focused on draft talk, mock drafts, and which players might be wearing the star next season, something much bigger has been quietly happening behind the scenes. And now it's starting to leak out. The Cowboys aren't just looking for a coach anymore, they're potentially reshaping the entire direction of this franchise, and the ripple effects are already being felt across the league. Let's start with the coaching situation, because this is where everything changed. For weeks, the Cowboys were linked to familiar names, safe names, predictable names. Coordinators, former head coaches, guys Jerry Jones has known forever. It felt like business as usual. But now, league insiders are saying the Cowboys have widened the search in a way that shocked even people inside the organization. This is no longer about finding someone to manage the roster. This is about finding someone who can finally maximize it. Sources close to the team are saying the Cowboys are aggressively evaluating coaches with strong player development backgrounds, modern offensive concepts, and this part is key: the confidence to challenge Jerry Jones in the room. That alone tells you how serious this has become. Because historically, very few coaches in Dallas have had the power or the personality to truly push back. Now, that's exactly what the Cowboys want. One name that keeps popping up is a coach with a reputation for adaptability. Someone who adjusts game plans weekly instead of forcing players into rigid systems. The Cowboys front office is reportedly obsessed with one question right now: why does this roster look dominant on paper but disappear in big moments? And the answer they keep circling back to is coaching philosophy. Preparation. In-game adjustments. Situational football. The little things that decide playoff games. And here's where it gets really interesting. The Cowboys are no longer separating the coaching hire from free agency plans. These two things are now fully connected. Whoever steps into that role is going to have influence on personnel decisions, especially on the defensive side of the ball. That is a massive shift for Dallas. Which brings us to free agency, because yes, new Cowboys free agent targets have officially been revealed, and some of these names are going to surprise people. Let's talk defense first, because internally, the Cowboys believe the championship window is still open, but only if they fix one glaring issue: physicality. Multiple sources say Dallas wants more dogs, more tone setters, players who show up when the lights are brightest. That's why the Cowboys are heavily monitoring veteran defensive linemen who can stop the run and collapse the pocket. Not just sack artists, but disruptors. One free agent defensive tackle in particular has been labeled a priority at if the price is right. This is someone who doesn't show up on highlight reels every week, but offensive coordinators absolutely hate facing him. The Cowboys know Micah Parsons can change games, but they also know he needs help. They want someone inside who forces quarterbacks to step up right into Micah's path. That's not accidental. That's strategy. At linebacker, Dallas is looking at experienced players who can command the huddle. Guys who diagnose plays instantly. Because one of the biggest frustrations last season was missed assignments and slow reactions against motion-heavy offenses. The new coaching candidates have reportedly emphasized versatility and football IQ, and the front office is listening. Now flip over to the offensive side, because this is where things get controversial. The Cowboys are quietly exploring upgrades at offensive line depth and yes, wide receiver. Even with the current weapons on the roster, the belief inside the building is that the offense became too predictable late in the season. Too reliant on one or two options. That's not going to fly anymore. There's growing buzz around a veteran wide receiver who thrives in contested catch situations. A physical presence. Someone who can win on third and long when the play breaks down. This isn't about replacing anyone, it's about adding reliability. And the potential new coach is said to be pushing hard for this type of player, someone who fits a tougher, more aggressive offensive identity. And let's talk quarterback for a second, because you can't avoid it. Dak Prescott's future is still very much tied to this coaching decision. The Cowboys believe Dak can win, but only in the right system. That's why they're prioritizing coaches who tailor offenses around strengths instead of forcing a one-size-fits-all approach. Quick decisions. Pre-snap motion. More play action. Less predictability. This coaching hire could quite literally define the rest of Dak's career in Dallas. Another major free agent area the Cowboys are targeting is safety. Leadership. Communication. Too many breakdowns in coverage last year came down to confusion. The Cowboys want a veteran back there who sees the field like a quarterback. Someone who lines everyone up correctly and eliminates busted coverages. That's not flashy, but it wins games. What makes this whole situation wild is the timing. The Cowboys are moving faster than usual. Normally, Dallas plays things close to the vest and waits. This time, they're aggressive. They're making calls early. They're planting seeds with agents. That tells you one thing: Jerry Jones knows the pressure is real. The fanbase is restless. The roster is expensive. The margin for error is shrinking. And here's a detail that hasn't gotten enough attention. Several coaching candidates have reportedly asked Dallas very direct questions about roster control and collaboration. The Cowboys didn't shut that down. They leaned into it. That alone signals change. Because for years, that's been the biggest obstacle in Dallas: how much power the coach actually has. Now imagine this scenario. The Cowboys hire a coach with a modern vision, bring in a couple of high-impact free agents on defense, add a physical weapon on offense, and suddenly the narrative flips. From underachievers to legitimate contenders again. That's what this offseason is about. But make no mistake, this is a fork in the road moment. If the Cowboys miss on this coaching hire, it won't matter who they sign. Fans know it. The front office knows it. And that's why this search just took a huge turn. Everything is on the table. Philosophy. Personnel. Power structure. This isn't a cosmetic change. This is a potential reset. So keep your eyes open over the next few days. Because once the coaching domino falls, the free agency dominoes are coming right behind it. And some of the names linked to Dallas are going to make headlines fast. If you're a Cowboys fan, this is the most important offseason in years. Not because of hype, but because for the first time in a long time, it actually feels like the Cowboys understand what's been holding them back. And the moves they're about to make will tell us everything. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe for daily Cowboys news and rumors, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what happens next, because this story is just getting started.